Hi, good afternoon, anybody here out there watching my channel this afternoon at current situation. I will get confused between current situation and current solution. So, I am actually here today to share again. Um, Sorry. Okay, I'm here again to share some of my experience and purpose of why I'm doing these talk shows. Today afternoon, in a short while, I would like to bring up a very good friend of mine, Miss Sylvia Fernandez, who actually is a NLP coach, and which is a topic for today, which is something I like very dear to my heart. NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. I did this course through her due to my own personal challenges and found this NLP as something very, very useful in my sales and marketing career. So, why I'm doing this kind of talk shows is actually the purpose of it is I found over the last 35 years of my struggle as a marketing and sales person, the struggle I would say was a struggle in the sense that we were not really prepared because of our conditioning ourselves in our life as nobody really teaches us to become a marketing and sales or become an entrepreneur in college or school, but people somehow get it over the process, and then many make it become very successful, but many, because of the previous conditioning, are unable to actually push it through. And those who actually want to do it, currently there are a lot of people who are out there thinking of making some changes in their life, but are stopped due to things which actually they may not know, which we call a state of conscious awareness. You're conscious something is not right, but you don't know what is not right. So through this channel, I want to share in my next few years left of my life, actually how actually I have managed to get these kind of nuggets through the process of learning and searching and practicing, these things, so which has made my sales and marketing career a very seamless one and a very enjoyable one, and of course a very productive one. So take it from me, just like any swimmer. Currently, there's a lot of the Olympics is on. We notice an Olympic swimmer or a badminton player or a football star standing on the pedestal when the national anthem is played and they're winning the gold medal. You can only see tears running out from their eyes because we cannot experience the the struggle they went through to get to that pedestal, that moment in time. So similarly, there are a number of hours they spend training, sweating, I would say, torturing themselves to make that worthwhile, that short span to become that world star. So in a marketing and sales career, similarly, a lot of us are going into the arena, into the market without proper preparation. We go to do this seminar, but background, the behind the scenes thing, many do not understand what is necessary. So to use my channel as a avenue to get an insight of some of these things which are necessary to propagate yourself, to propel yourself into the arena of marketing and sales. This is what actually I want to emphasize. The time of processing, training, and practicing. What are the skills necessary to in the mental attitude, mental preparation, which whatever. So enjoy my channel, which I'm going to share with you many speakers who have gone through this struggle and coming out, um, you know, successful. So today I have prepared this special speaker who is a NLP coach. As I mentioned, her name is Miss Sylvia Fernandez, and she is going to share openly about how actually she's a Malaysian. Actually, I forgot to say she's a Malaysian who has changed her con- becoming from an employment sector into a international coaching large companies in Singapore and a few other countries. So I would like to share give her the time now to share. I'll bring her in now, and to share for you what is actually NLP all about. So let's hear it for Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia.
Hey, Dominic, good to see you.
Good, good. Sorry, I have to give a short introduction of you before you come on.
That's
Ah,
okay.
and as I said, this is not going to be something very formal. We make it as informal and enjoyable for the whoever is going to listen currently or subsequently.
That's good. I
So,
like that.
ah,
I
ah,
like that. It's
so
good when we can have a conversation.
yeah. So you just have to look out for any comments coming up from the side. I will let you know when it comes up. Okay.
Sure,
So
sure.
Sylvia, I was sharing today about actually the challenges and the I would say the toils which are necessary to propel yourself in the sales and marketing career. So I was actually very taken up by your career personally because of course you are been a friend of mine and a family friend from the time I know you. uh, you're working very nicely in the bank, uh, successfully in our Malaysian bank, and then subsequently you moved to Australia. I don't know how many years ago. It's a very long time ago. I think how many 20 25 years.
I left in 1994,
Yeah.
so
So
that
and
would
then you were in
be, yeah,
the
27 years.
Commonwealth Bank. I
Yes, I
think was it the
moved
Commonwealth
from
Bank?
Maybank to Commonwealth Bank in Sydney.
And then, of course, due to the Facebook, I was able to keep in touch. And I mean, everybody would have consider a dream job of working in the bank,
Mm.
like Maybank, and they work in the Common Bank. But it was for me, it was not surprising. But I think for many, maybe even for yourself and for your friends, it will be suddenly you got into NLP, neuro linguistic
Yeah,
programming. You know,
yeah. So what I was thinking of doing today, Dominic, is I will trace my journey of how
yeah.
I did it without even realizing at the time, but now I know what I did. So it's a bit easier to share with the audience, my
Mm.
journey now because I know what was actually propelling me in the background.
Yeah. So for the benefit of those who actually now currently every time there are a lot of people out there looking out for how to get into something different
Mm,
which they're not familiar with, and
mm.
they prefer to stay by the sideline rather than getting into their field. Uh, so and you got into a field of NLP, which is actually a very, I
Yes,
mean, I
a
would not,
very niche, very, very
very
niche
niche,
market, very niche.
niche
And
market, very specialized. And like
yeah,
I heard about NLP many years before I actually did the program with you in
yes,
2007. You know,
yes.
and
Mm,
since because I see today a lot of coaches are using NLP. Actually, before I was wondering what is NLP? It's some kind of a hypnotic kind of thing, and very bit worrying about it, and took me so long of time and struggle and convincing to actually start it, getting it. So
mm,
a lot of us are in that kind of position. We want to do something, but we are stopped. You know,
yes.
we need work. Why would I try spend the money? So for the benefit of those who are in this position, I'm pleased you will share for them a bit of insight actually how actually you went through this mental change I will call it,
Mm,
from employer into this, and then you excel yourself into an international coach. Yeah. So I
mm.
think
Yeah.
I would like you to basically take it from here,
Okay.
giving us
I will. I
insight.
will
Yeah.
just share my screen and start. It's Thank you, Dominic. Thank you for that introduction, and it's also my pleasure to be here. With somebody like you who is a old friend, and we all grew up together. And are you able to see my slideshow?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this talk is about transforming yourself. Creating from nothing. I had nothing. Like Dominic says, I started in Malaysia. I was born in KL, and from there in 1994, I had worked in Maybank. I was in Treasury for 10 years. I was in branch banking, eventually Treasury. I had a fantastic job. I loved my colleagues. I loved the people I worked for. The bank was amazing to me. Um, Everything. My life was really going very, very well. But that was 1994 when people were moving out of Malaysia. They were, migrating, and Canada and Australia, New Zealand were all open for migration. Um, I don't know, something was just calling me. And I have always been a person who is an optimist. Dominic knows my mother, and my mother, who's passed on now, but she was a real opportunist. She knew how, when the door opened, she could pick up, the opportunity and go for it. An ultimate optimist, always smiling, happy. And I became like her. I always thought to myself, well, if I go, I can always come back if I don't like it. But at least I've opened a door. I've taken the opportunity. I've made use of that option. I'm a person of possibility. Now, at the time, I didn't know this. Today, I can tell you. So these options, these possibilities were amazing for me. I thought, oh, I can go here, I could do that. And there's no risk really, because I'm young, I can come back anytime. So that's what made me move. And from day one, as I moved into Sydney, the other thing I want to tell you is, when you decide to go into something new, or move country, or move jobs, when something happens very easily, like it happened for me. I had someone help me. This person said, oh, I know a lot of bankers in Sydney, send me your resume. No, it's not that they got the job for me. I had to get that job myself. But they got an opening in for me to say, hey, go and see the head of treasury here, go and see the head of institutional banking there. So I went in to visit. I had no employment. I mean, I was going to get my PR visa, but at the time I still hadn't got it. I said, let me go for a little trip. So all of these things, and immediately I got the job. Within 4 days, the group treasurer called me back after the interview and said, oh, we don't have a job. We don't have a vacancy, but we will create one for you, because if we don't hire you, we know that our competitor is going to hire you. Now I got a shock because
Yeah, yeah.
I was this Malaysian girl turning up in Australia, and then just like that, they created a job for me. So, they said, you have amazing experience on your resume. So Maybank had, really sent me overseas, and, really built me up. And I sometimes, when you are sitting in that same job, or in the same country, or you read the same books, you see the same people, you have no perspective. There's nobody to refer to, like, oh, I'm better than this than last 5 years, or you don't know, you have nothing to compare to. you know so for me, going to Australia, I had a lot to compare. I said, wow, I'm a little Malaysian girl, and I got that job just like that. I knew this was right. Now, if you have to try so hard, and you're banging against a brick wall, then something is wrong. Something is not, you haven't quite spotted it yet. So pay attention to these little signals. you know so then after that, I loved Australia, and I lived there for 13 years, and all of that. And then I left banking after 3 years of arriving. And I wasn't sure where I was going. I just had this feeling in my heart, like an earthquake. I kept thinking, I can't sit here in banking now. I've been in banking for 13 years. And I was never interested in going down to branch banking, because it was too small picture for me. I'm a big picture person. I like to stay out in the big picture. So in banking, I was looking after balance sheet risk. I was looking at
Yeah, yeah. Very
things
myopic.
like the CEO of an organization would be looking down at
Uh-huh.
all the department. What's the strategy? How are we going forward? What should we plan? So you have to identify who you are. If you're a big picture person, if you're a detailed person, what is your strength? Where do you want to play? And I knew I had the job in the bank, and that's it. There was no other job that I was interested in. So I left. I
This
have
is
to say,
the what we learn in NLP, the chunking up and chunking down.
yes. So I was always chunked up. So
Uh,
up in the big picture. But the funny thing is, when leaving a job, once you have left a country, you can leave a job. People
yeah.
think change is so difficult, but actually it isn't. Once you've done it once, you can do it over and over and over again, because it's really, you know how to do it already. So while my bosses said, you take your resignation letter back, they didn't want to, take it from me. I said, well, no, you don't have a job to go to. I said, no, I'll find one. I was so gung-ho, you know.
Do with faith.
Yes, I had a lot of faith. Now, that's another
Mm-hmm.
thing, your conviction, your belief in yourself, you know. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how I just tumbled and tumbled. I became a headhunter. I ran a banking and finance desk. I moved into IT. It was booming at the time. So I moved and moved and moved. Every time I was stagnating, I was
Mm-hmm.
bored. I said, okay, time to move. Sometimes it would be 3 months, time to move. I didn't care,
Yeah.
So I moved and I moved and I moved. And now in the background, everybody called me a rolling stone. They said I didn't know what I wanted. Yeah, I didn't. So what? You know? So
A lot
this
of people
thing,
roll around, but they roll from bank to bank.
ah, yes. That's okay if you
Uh,
are climbing the career ladder within
yeah,
the bank. That means you're moving higher up every time you're moving higher up into a better position. Okay. But if you're moving bank to bank and you're on the same position, then,
yeah.
what is it for? You might as well move out into something else.
So the
Why did
moving
you
out
move
is
in?
where we want to hear today. How you move
Yes.
out from the
Yes. So the moving
what
out is about that
comfort
that
thing.
level of you feel something inside you. So the main thing is you must be able to go inside and understand this is a very odd feeling. Most people don't want to go inside and feel. They pretend that they are not feeling. They are going from the
Mm-hmm.
heart, from the head. Oh, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. That's from the head. But the heart is telling you something else. You have to go in and ask yourself, why is it I don't feel this feeling normally? What is this feeling about? Sit
Mm-hmm.
down quietly, make in like a meditation, a quiet silent place. Ask yourself, what is this about? Why is this feeling? What am I feeling? You see. So from there, then you start to go deeper and deeper into yourself, and the answers will come. you know so that's how I'm then moved to Singapore, because I'd already started working in NLP. I had run my own business, and then business started to come out of Asia. I was going up and down every 3 weeks. I said, this is
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So there again, another calling. Asia called me back, because I was
Mm-hmm.
from Asia, and it was like it was calling me back. Come on back. You need to help, this region. So this is what happened. I moved to
So you
Singapore. I
So
moved to
you see,
Singapore.
once you have that confidence and the technology and the skill set of the mind, you don't worry which country you are in actually. Because in training, you are human beings are always everywhere. They need the same skills. They need the same. They need the
You're
same
right.
mindset,
You're right.
and
Yes, you're right.
you're not stopped by the by that boundaries.
Yeah, you're right. But
So
the only
one.
thing is, every time you move, it's got to be something better. I won't
Mhm,
move laterally. I won't simply move from here to there. No, when I make a move, it's going to be better. So it's going to be bigger. A lot of things that I don't know. So when I moved to Singapore, I knew I was going to work with a lot of companies with deep work, with NLP. In the past, I came in and out, did 2-day training, 3-day training. Thank you, goodbye. And then I went back. But on the plane, every time I went back, I said, oh, I'm feeling very uncomfortable. There's something that's bugging me here. What is it? And I would ask myself, what is this feeling? What is this feeling? And then one day I realized it's because I'm seeing these people once and I will never see them again. They come into a
mhm,
public training, I teach them some skills, 3 days, and then I go away and I'll never see them again. But
mhm.
I kept saying to myself, I don't want to do that. I want to know that I can go back to the same company, work with them, ask them, okay, did you do what I told you the last time? How did it work? It didn't work? What did you do? Tell me, then maybe I can tweak it for you. I can help you. I want to know that there are results. I wanted accountability. I wanted to be responsible for what I did. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go back to Asia, and then from there start to work with companies and go deep in the company
Deep
and
into
do
it,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, do 2-3 years work with them, culture
To
change,
monitor,
aligning, you know,
mhm. Basically to monitor your responsibility of what you
promise, what I guaranteed and what
given
I
to them.
promised.
Yeah, you want to make sure it works and
Yes,
they perform on it, rather than
correct.
to just scrape the surface and get the fees and move to the next. Because
Exactly.
sometimes we want to do certain things, but it's not just doing it. We feel responsible. We want to make sure the guy kicks his ass or he produce some kind of result end of the day, which
Correct.
actually it's I think what most people have to anyway. Most people have to realize this now. So you of course come up with
Exactly.
your own kind of coursework or workshop
Yeah,
or
so
kind of
so that made
training
me
now.
go into something totally new, right? Because I had not done culture change work before. In fact, I had some amazing Malaysian companies, insurance companies that worked with me. So I would fly in and out of Sydney and then fly in and out of Singapore. It was amazing because we worked together. They believed in me, and I knew that they were really smart people on the right track. And so there was a lot of learning for me, is what I'm trying to say. So for me, it's not enough to go from here to there, the same lateral
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
I have to go
Constant
to
change.
some place higher, bigger, but I don't know a lot here. So here I was doing culture change work and really immersing myself in the culture and with the people. I was like a full-time employee because everybody in the company knew me. I would walk in and out, and that was my learning. I had to have continuous learning. If I was bored, I was not interested. As soon as I stagnated, I wasn't learning anything. I wasn't interested. So
So
this
they
is
keep you
another thing.
accountable. They keep you accountable. You also keep yourself accountable
Correct.
uh, for each other. You
Correct.
want to make sure they get results, and they want to make sure you also have to
Also.
deliver more. So in the way you develop through this process of. Uh, so how does the NLP actually come in when you for yourself on a personal basis? How it has actually worked
Oh,
to
NLP
become now
for
you become
sure.
like we say
Uh,
consciously competent about it.
Yeah, yeah. So I was actually practicing my NLP skills as I was teaching. Every time I taught, and people would share also how they were using it, and I would keep adding and adding and adding to my NLP vocabulary. And of course, then I am also in my internal compass. I'm redirecting my compass all the time. It's ever changing. It's fluid. There's no hard
Uh-huh.
coded. It's like cement. It's only this way. This is what I see in a lot of people. Must be only this way. No, actually, if you are fluid, you can take so many different forms. You can be a round ball, you can be a triangle, you can be a cylinder, you can be anything. You can be a rocket. So this fluidity was is something in my mind. The flexibility, to be behaviorally flexible in the things that you do. And so this is something for me that's very important. That's why today with COVID, I have gone, right into all the online, recreating my entire business into the online space. I work with a social media team. They get me to do videos and podcasts and all types of things on my Instagram and Facebook channels. I am out there with the young people as much as I need to be, to boost my company and the work that I'm doing. So change, what I want to say is change is not making change for the sake of making change is not worth it. Forget it. You might as well stay where you are. But make change because you want something different. You want something more. You have stagnated. You're not learning anymore. Okay, you go into a bigger role. If you feel that the suburb you're living in is not good enough for you at the moment, anymore, move and change. Every time you change your workstation, you change where you live, you change, the role that you're in, you change those kinds of things. You get different dimensions and perspectives. So all the changes I made, from industry moves to geographical changes, all added up. Experience in large companies, small companies, multicultural, Asia Pacific. I even got a client in Nigeria, and they said, "You want to do some work for our company in Nigeria?" I said, "Yeah, of course, because it's challenging." And I went. And then from there, I got another client while I was there. The company CEO said, "I want you to come and do work with me as well." So you see, the more you go out, the more open your mind is. You're like a magnet. You also attract that kind of
Correct.
thing. So yeah. So the idea is to use what you have, within you. But as Dominic knows, and I know, both of us were big on personal development. We spent a lot of time and money in early days developing ourselves. We went to courses, we bought books, we learned, listened to podcasts, we did a whole bunch of things, and we were continuously learning. So I feel that many people today are not willing to spend that money and time to go out and find themselves, because your gold nuggets actually are inside you, you know and the biggest gold nugget is your intuition. So when you do
Thank you.
NLP, yeah, you really go into your intuition.
Yeah, thank you, Sylvia. That's what we actually want to get to across here is that nuggets we want to share with people, which is actually I mean, it's not physical. It's something very mental, and you can't touch it. It's intangible,
Correct.
which actually we want to make it, bring it out here, so that people know, realize that every one of us has to, tap on these nuggets, which is uh, necessary before they actually go into a business or some kind of transformation for themselves. Anyway,
Absolutely.
those listening out here will be those who actually committed for their life. I mean,
Yes.
which is something which is, I think, I want to capture on. So
Yes.
carry on, yeah, Sylvia, you were saying.
Because they made the time and they said they were
Mm,
coming, they made the time and they're willing to put that time aside. So when you have
mm,
that kind of deep accountability, and you are your word, you say you're going to do it, you do it. That
mhm,
is very important in this whole journey. Now, both Dominic and I know it is not something that happens overnight, but as we progress, we get better and better and better. One sort of steps on the other and the other. It's all layered. And by the time you get to
mhm,
this level, all this multi-dimensional, multi-layered information and knowledge that you have gained and experience from going out there and doing different things, that's what you want to be able to encapsulate in you, that that becomes that unique you. Who
mhm.
is that unique you? So,
Because
I mm,
I'm sorry that myself was when I realized this technology, it was a very late age. I mean, I
mm,
think I was when I did was 2007. Imagine
mm.
if we were 10 or 15 years younger, it would have made a great difference further on
Yes,
our on the thing. But anyway, at least
yes,
we still did it, even though
yes,
it was you know
yeah, yeah.
bit
Now you're
late.
telling
So
your
this is
age,
something.
Dominic.
Yeah, now I'm here to open my hand and my heart to everyone. Not to make the same kind
Yeah,
of when the thing technology comes, embrace it. Don't hold back. Don't resist it. Do whatever it takes to if you're committed to your life, just you know take a chance on things.
yeah, absolutely.
Because
But
you know.
from having moved around so many cultures, I can say Malaysians do take a chance. The
Mhm,
adventure spirit is in Malaysians. I know because I grew up there, right? And my own sense of adventure, people say, "My God, you're such an adventurer. You got so much courage." I said, "I come from Malaysia. There's a lot of them there,
mm, mm, mm,
because
mm,
we grew up in a multicultural environment, and we
mm,
gave and we take give and take attitude. We were so compromising. We were all happy.
mm,
So it's quite different to a monogamous culture where people they only look a certain way and they only eat a certain something. Here we eat everything. We are open to anything, and so
mm,
the sense of adventure, the boundaries were actually not so tight.
mm,
In my coaching business, I find that a lot of people come to see me because their boundaries are very tight. They're like, only this way. Life must be only this way. But what if you expand,
yeah, yeah.
expand your world? Then it
Mhm.
starts to open up, and then you don't feel so bad. You are able to accept more, so
Yeah, that's what we realize this as we get into a marketing and sales career. It's only sometimes we experience this because when you
yes.
take a risk without preparation, the chances of falling is very high, and
Hi.
we don't
Yes.
want to try again, you know. But
Yeah.
if you have these nuggets, really preparing yourself by going for seminars and talks, and then only things start to open up. So it all starts with ourselves. Actually, want to open and take
Yes.
listen to your inner self, and then going step by step, trusting somebody. These are the things which I think this is the thing which we want to accept because
Yes.
ultimately we all have got our mental blocks, which is due to
Correct.
our conditioning in our whatever unfortunate or fortunate with our education. So
Yes.
don't blame the education, but those who are responsible for their life have to are those who take chances. So
Yes.
the
It's
what I remember that one more thing which comes to my mind is the four steps where we first stage of we call it most people are we call unconsciously
unconscious
incompetent. Huh?
incompetence.
I realized that I was and something when I read the book I realized I think I'm not I mean then it was the second stage was consciously incompetent. This is what the stage which I think was the turning point, you
Yes.
know. And then you go to become consciously competent.
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 That's
And
when you
then
practice and
subsequently,
you're achieving, you're
yeah.
practicing, and you become
So
competent.
yeah, so you have to. We are now in. We are always in between the unconsciously incompetent and then become consciously incompetent and you become um, consciously second one, third one,
Competent.
and then subsequently we are at the stage now of become consciously
Unconsciously.
unconsciously
Unconsciously competent.
competent. Yeah.
You just do it. You
So
don't think about it. You're just doing it.
uh-huh. you know but we don't know the three step before that becoming. We all see the consciously competent people doing well, running around smoothly, but they didn't know that behind the scene all these steps which had to take place. Maybe you can share some of those kind of uh,
Yeah,
things
it's funny you say that because in my life, Dominic, many, many times people look at me and say, "Oh, you're so lucky. You're so lucky." And I would always think to myself, actually, I work really hard, I make my luck. I'm not one of those who sit back and, relax. Even now, I'm working weekends, sometimes, weekday nights because I'm working in different time zones. UK and Europe are awake, I have to do a night class. So I think to myself, that's what made me write my book, Bye Bye Black Cat, so turning your luck around and creating opportunities because at the end of the day, there's a lot of opportunity around, but people are blinded. They choose not to see. So the ones who are clever and they are a bit aware, they are at this, conscious incompetence. They're conscious that they need a few more things, but they are still incompetent. Then they see something, they say, "Oh, I don't have that." This is another nugget. I used to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
people who were successful, and then I would say, "Oh, that person has something that I would like, but I don't have it." So then I watch, observe. And then I follow what they're doing. I ask them questions. Now, this is how NLP was formed. This is how it was founded in the first place. Two people, a professor of linguistics and a computer scientist, programmer, okay, decided to look and observe people who were doing an amazing job in therapy. So they were observing and then they coded and put all of that code into a structure of what these guys were doing. Now, these people didn't even know that the genius states they were in and the things that they were doing. But when the two co-founders went in and they observed and they pulled it out, they teased it out, they came up with this model called NLP, which is like a model of genius. It's a model for high performers. So people often say, "Oh, your coaching so expensive. Oh, your courses, NLP courses so expensive." But you go and you get accelerated. You do it short. You do it sharp. Yes, you pay more, but do you want to pay that same amount over 5 years? Or do you want to pay it over a few days or weeks and then get it immediately and you can supercharge yourself? To me, it's a no-brainer, so that is the thing, to emulate other people, watch what they're doing. How did you learn that? How do you do this? Find out the how, the process, because
Yeah, yeah.
as you start to get into action, you learn the how and then you get into action, you're actually starting to tap into your intuition because you're taking away all the blockages. By being in action, you're starting to remove. It's like when you do spring cleaning of your wardrobe, you're taking out all the cobwebs, and the more you change your clothes around, the more you open up and you close, and the cobwebs cannot be there, so they've
Yeah,
already
yeah.
cleared out. So it's the same thing. So yeah, so intuition is powerful, and the way to get into your intuition is, for instance, number 3, keep searching till you find it. As you search and you search and you search, actually go deeper, deeper, deeper. Maybe you don't find it straight away. In fact, you might take a while to find this passion, this purpose, why you are here on earth, and what do you plan to do. But when you have found it, it may come like this, and then you got to go sideways, and then back down here, and then there, and then eventually you find it here. So it doesn't matter, like a little, a rabbit, or whatever. You just burrow and burrow and burrow until you find that thing. So keep searching, because when you find, like I searched and searched and searched for a good 6 years. Now, when I found NLP, the night I found NLP, a friend of mine mentioned it to me. We went for a walk. I was living in Sydney, right? And this friend of mine, John, he used to come and, pick me up on a Wednesday night because his girlfriend had art classes. And, we used to go for a walk. He leave his car at my place because I was just across the harbour bridge. So from my place, we walked down across the harbour bridge. and then down to the rocks. We stop, have a coffee, and come back up again. So it would take us from like 7 in the evening to like 10 o'clock at night, 3 hours. So he had done NLP many years before. I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years before. And he said to me, you should really go and do NLP. Now, the minute he mentioned that, my heart
Ah,
was pumping.
light bulb started flashing.
All these light bulbs. And I'm thinking, what is that? What are you talking about? Tell me more. Tell me more. The whole night he talked and talked. Then he said, okay, now I'm going home. You go and
Ah,
Google. Wow, I couldn't sleep. I was Googling. I said, I'm taking a year off. I'm going to take a year off and I'm going to do this NLP thing. And I said, tomorrow I'm going to call a few course providers. So in that week and 2 weeks, I called and called and
you
called. I
start
spoke
three.
and I found these people. I said, okay, I'm going to do my practitioner program, and that is the thing, by then, you see, I had changed jobs, I had done so many different things that my body was like so amazingly in communication with me. I was aware as soon as some little feeling came up, I knew what it was. As soon as something happened, if I was excited and all this, I said, wow, this is meant for me. What is this? What is this? And I would look around, what is the message here? So there's a lot of messages that will come through your
Yeah,
body, and that's your intuition. But many people don't care to listen. They think the
yeah, we
body is
kind of
just a
suppress it.
machine. Yes,
Suppress
either
it.
suppress it, yes, or think that the body is a machine. It's like, what is this? It's nothing. It's nothing. So you
It's
put
too
it aside.
difficult.
No, actually,
And you'll
sometimes
never be
people,
satisfied.
yeah, but Dominic, sometimes people don't know. They don't know where to go, how to find it. They don't even know that there is something called intuition. So everybody has got their own journey. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So creating your luck, I felt, that's why I wrote that book about luck and how to create your luck. Today, there's a lot more books coming out about that. How you can actually create your luck. It's not fate. People say, oh, I'm fated. This is my fate. No, no such thing. Your brain is neuroplastic. Okay, it has neuroplasticity. That means, like plasticine, your brain can turn around and
Turn
change.
around.
Yeah. So if you can actually understand that, if you're feeling sad, you can get rid of that sadness. You can get rid of your beliefs, limiting beliefs that stop you, and reinstall powerful positive beliefs. And as you do that, your brain will rewire, and that reprogramming will happen so that you don't think about things the way you did before in the past. And then suddenly you find yourself in a new place, you have new friends, you've got so many, your whole environment is different. Actually, you get that job very easily, or maybe you start your own business, whatever. But it's so easy to actually get those kinds of things happen. All right, I want to also talk about some strategies. Okay, the first one being to work on yourself first. If you're all the time looking at others and doing all this external stuff, you are going nowhere. You're still in that same position, you're going nowhere. So you have to do that internal work. And actually, today, it's not that you got to go and tell some therapist all your stories and then cry and then feel so upset.
Yeah,
And no, it's much more, amicable than that. It's easier than that.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, because in NLP, for instance, we don't deal in content. Even if you want to tell me your sad story, also, I don't need to hear. I don't want to hear it. I can help you without you telling me all about this whole stuff that happened to you. What your parents did and whatever. We don't need to know any of that. So in NLP, we call that content. We don't need the content, but we will work with the structure and the process and help you move to a better place. So very big is this entire thing of working on yourself, because that's where the gold nuggets are. you know
Yeah.
and my next point is modeling other people. So following, you NLP is a high performance model. Okay, so why not look at how high performers are doing this. Go out and see, oh, I want to be a top salesman. Who is a top salesman that I know? Okay, go and look, find out. Ask them, hey, can I model you or not? I find out a bit more about you. How do you do this? How do you make decisions? How do you know this is right, that's wrong? Go and ask them. If they really don't want to help you, because some people feel like, oh, I want to keep all my secrets to myself, okay, then don't ask them. But you just, when you're in the midst of people like that, you just notice what's happening. Now, most of the time, okay, I can tell you, if you ask somebody, to mentor you or to help you out because you want to be a high performer in sales as well, people will help you. Today,
Yeah,
I feel
actually,
that, yeah,
it's that's what you were saying. It starts with ourselves, like relating back, like myself. Being in the
yes,
marketing line from the time I left. I mean, I only worked for someone for I think 1 year, and then I went into insurance.
mm,
And but because I didn't that those days in what 35 years ago, there was no internet. There was no we didn't know any coaches, even only coach we thought of was a basketball coach or a football
mm,
coach, but we never knew about a marketing and sales coach. Only thing we do this for listening to the what the company gave. But
mm,
today, so many years forward, these coaches are everywhere. Like
yep,
you are one example. You are a coach.
yep,
Today there's so many coaches, but still people are still worried. Want to go back to the old way of following what is. I think I would not very. I mean, not practical anymore. I would say
yeah,
those skills.
yeah, yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you know.
So
So
there's
we are using old skills and trying to get some different result. Whereas
into
today
a
the
new
young
world.
people are using different skills, the internet and getting things faster. That's what they say. To become a millionaire in today's world compared to 50 years ago, it is within a blink of an eye you can become a millionaire. But our generation feel, hey, it's not fair. How come it becomes so fast? I think they are doing something, but that's how it is. You have to accept it.
Yes,
People are
yes,
changing fast.
correct. And also the whole world is available now. When we were growing up, it was just our own little country or our own little town, but now with the internet, the whole world is available, so the newcomers to the scene, the new people, young people, their mind is new. It's a new mindset, and they're
Mhm,
ready for the new environment. For them, it's normal. But for us, we have to actually make that change, from an old
mhm,
environment into a new environment. So you cannot go out
mhm,
with old skills. You have to update
mhm,
yourself, upgrade yourself, from new skills to a new environment.
mhm.
So it's extremely important, actually, Dominic. That's a very big point, to upgrade yourself constantly. I never stop. I really, and I'm sure you too. Today I watch YouTube videos, and it doesn't have to be only in the field of work. I watch a lot of cooking and
Mhm.
exercise YouTube videos. I love to pick up new hints and little nuggets that can help me. Oh, I never thought of that. Oh, let me do that. So the other thing on my
Yeah.
point three is a very big one, especially in Asian countries where everybody wants to give you advice. The whole world has got advice for you. I
Mhm.
would say if you're on a change path, those people who are giving you advice have probably never changed their house or their
Right.
car or the food
Good
they
point.
ate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
good
It's
point.
like they
Mhm.
are all in their stuck state, but they somehow feel that they can give you advice. So you either be gracious and say thank you, and in your heart you say no thank you, or you say, look, I only take advice today. Like in Australia, no, you can do this, from people who have been on a change path, people who
Mhm.
I feel, are able to really help me because they've been there, done that, you know or the third way is you just say thank you. You're kind of like gracious, and you say, well, that may not fit for me, because I'm on a different path. So there's different ways, but people very easily take other people's advice. I notice in the Asian countries, it's something that is, be a bit more discerning. Discern who you want to listen to and who you don't. Ask for a mentor, somebody you really want to be like. So mentoring is,
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, just
So
like when we do marketing and sales, I mean, because this channel, I want to just emphasize more on marketing
yes,
and sales. When we want to sell something to someone those days, or even now, they will, when they say the question, the objection will be, let me check with my wife, or let me check with my someone expert. Uh, and end of the day, when they check with someone, we are very, as a salesperson, we are very scared that or stop because they will check with someone which ultimately comes back and normally it says no, I think you should not go forward. But today with your technology we are able to have the courage to actually tell the person you
Hmm.
want to check with someone competent who will give you the proper advice, no? Otherwise,
Yes.
otherwise we go around trying to be nice and behaving nice rather, and knowing that he's going to check with his grandmother or his some person who has not done anything much, and then come back and tell you. Of course, they have their own reason, but this is an objection which actually a lot of salespeople we kind of like cannot overcome
Yes.
because
Yes.
they know this without this technology, and it has helped me to actually overcome that kind of courage to
Absolutely.
speak, speak truthfully.
You know,
Like,
the truth, Dominic, when it comes out, and if you learn, you have to learn how to be gracious, okay, and tactful. You
mhm.
don't have to hurt people, okay? But
Yeah.
when this is something that my boss in Maybank told me once, one of my branch managers in early days. I don't know, maybe it's a knack. I just had this truth in me all my life in speaking the truth, and I didn't care or worry about what people would think. And so, when I would say things like quite tough things to my staff, my team, this is not acceptable, blah, blah, blah. But they were all very okay. And by evening, they'll say, boss, I was single then. 5 o'clock, can you stay back? I want to talk to you. And they would be around my desk talking to me about their boyfriend problems, girlfriend problems, this, that. And I'll sit there and laugh with them. And my branch managers would notice, you are the most strict of all the managers, but you are the
Uh-huh.
one that they all come to, and
Uh-huh.
you have a strength. You have a strength, they said, and I wish I could do that. My branch manager said, he said, I'm so soft because I feel like I'm hurting them. But actually you're not. They most people enjoy the refreshing truth if you are able to use language that's gracious and with a smile. Perhaps this is not for me right now. It won't all go well for the path that I'm on, or whatever. In a nice way, actually people can still be your friend, but they will stop telling you what to do, giving you advice. So there's many ways to do it, and a big part of NLP is language. You have to learn how to speak, so that your message goes across graciously, but you send the message across,
That what we call the tonality. Huh?
yes,
The
yes,
tonality
the
to
choice of
support
words,
the
your
choice of words.
tonality, your expression on your face. Yeah, so these are all things that add to the entire experience for that person. So somehow you get away with it. People tell me, oh, somehow you got away with that. I said, maybe it's coming from truth from my heart. So I say it in a very sincere way, and at the same time with language that I'm trained in. So this language as well as, the physicalness. So, and I don't really care about popularity. For me, respect is more important. So you have to you choose. You want to be popular, or do you want to have respect as a leader, or as a salesperson? If you speak the truth as a salesperson, I can tell you your clients will really love you because they
Yeah,
know they
yeah.
can trust you. But if you want to be Mr. Popular and just ha hoo hoo with them and whatever, it's kind of like that trust is not as deep, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
He's the nice guy. Yeah,
yes,
of course there'll be
exactly.
sometimes you will have to the product's not right for him, then it's too bad. But I guess you go back knowing that you did your best,
Yes,
because you can't but because of this communication of following up with the customer, the prospect, uh, not giving up on him, communicating not just once, but continuously keeping in touch, uh, and not be stopped, even though you don't get any response. But over time, you break down. I have been able to break down that barrier. Before doing these courses, I was always couldn't go over that, because should I
yes.
do that? I think it's not right. I think he should be calling me. So those things were I find most people don't want to
Don't want
accept.
to do and accept.
Yeah.
Yes, understand. So, the other thing that drives us is the success beliefs. We have a lot of success beliefs. Like, if you have behavioral flexibility, you will be in charge of a situation. If you say, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't, then, you are actually pushing your world into a small little box and nobody's going to come to you. And as a salesperson, you need to be totally flexible, but you need to also stand your ground. So you find that art, that balance between both, or things like there's no such thing as failure, like you just said. If he doesn't call you, well, okay, maybe I call him. You just learn from it. This guy will never call me, I'm going to call him. So this, we see the mindset that we come from is one of resilience, and ego is totally not in the mix. If you, as long as you have ego in the mix, you're in trouble. You can't really move. But putting that ego aside, oh, I'm so grand and I'm this age and he should talk to me like this, and oh, who cares? Who cares? Think about the outcome. I want to get
Yeah,
there.
outcome.
I'm going for it. That's what you need to
Mhm.
think like.
Yeah, you must always. How this is NLP actually? That a lot of nowadays, a lot of people go into business. They're worried
Mm,
about the expectation of always the business. They
yeah,
don't,
going
after
it.
some time they don't work, because
Mm,
they don't see the outcome as the motive of the
mm,
business, but personal issues come in the way, which
mm,
I think that's why I always recommend people to go for some training,
mm. you know
communicating with each other, and I find
yes.
NLP is something which is you know which I think is pertinent for them to involve in
Yeah,
to
because Dominic, if you are not if you're not focused on the outcome,
Mhm.
and you allow all these distractions. Oh, I can't do, I'm not feeling well, I'm not this, I'm not. How many days I had when I was training 10-day programs, and I did not want to get out of the bed because I wasn't well, but I still went, and
Mhm.
nobody knew I was sick. So you've got to be outcome driven. If not, why run a business? Why even try? Why don't you just forget about life? I mean, if you're allowing all these distractions and drama. So the way I see things, when people are full of drama, full of distractions, they are at unconscious incompetence. They don't know where they are. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. They don't even know why they are here. Forget it. People like that, they're so flighty. Just forget it. You're just going to waste your time, because you want to get people who are starting to become conscious. So when you
Mhm.
choose your clients as well as a salesperson, you start to look for people who are already starting to see, oh, I'm
See,
conscious
yeah, yeah.
but I'm incompetent. I must go and find how to become competent now. You see, so you don't just
Yeah,
take
yeah,
any client. You choose your clients as well as
yeah,
they
yeah.
choose you, both ways.
The That's a very good point, because normally when you sell, it also depends on the product which you are marketing, which is
Yes,
you know it may be useful for everyone, but sometimes most people, they don't know which product fits for which person, you know
yes,
uh, so without the skills of the preparation, you sometimes find you selling the wrong product to the wrong market,
exactly.
and then you get stuck, and then you say, yeah, this product doesn't work, or I give up.
Yes. So,
So I
that is
found this.
about discernment, right? Mm.
Mhm. So I found this very useful when I was doing that high-end investment product,
Mm.
which was an intangible product, where I remember I was talking to you about the investment,
Yes,
and
yes,
beginning, because of my many years of failure, of struggle, I knew this product was a special product. It only catered for a certain market,
mm.
and that market was a very uncharted territory, which I was not familiar with. I was fearful about it, but because of the going for these seminars, and understanding that to tap that market, you had to step out of a comfort zone, and you had to go for it. So the belief, this product was good, and otherwise I will be finished. So I noticed a lot of people are it is a very hard to explain this, but once you get clarity of how this product will be useful for someone, then you just have to know that is the product. And the and the attitude of that person, we can identify it is a person which we can know 100% he's in or he's out. That's it.
Correct.
And then
Correct.
we just capture the clientele.
Exactly.
So if you want to
Exactly.
capture a certain market, we know certain products is one which gives you that elevation into that circle of
Yes.
market. You know, so
And
that is
that's,
something that, you
yeah,
know.
then it saves you time because you're not wasting time with the wrong person. And you can
You
move
know,
on to maybe a real prospect, and to sell some your goods. Yeah.
because if the person doesn't have the money or he's not qualified for it, he doesn't see the. Sometimes, of course, you have to work on the need and all this thing. But end of the day, you can do so much. But if he's still not ready, means he's not ready because he's conditioned in a certain way. You have to accept it
Yes. Yeah.
that it's not
It's not going to
it's not for
happen.
him.
Not now, anyway. But maybe when he starts to open up his mind or whatever, that sometimes I've had clients call me years later. You know, when there's a need, suddenly they remember and then they call.
But one thing I know in NLP, it is very helpful in the relationship, because
Mm,
of the
mm,
you are not stopped by the outcome. I mean,
mm.
sometimes the outcome not to your expectation, but you are not
Yes.
stopped by that outcome. You keep with the relationship going. Do you remember the one the technology was the invoking the other person's, you invoke the other person's feeling. Is it? There's an exercise you do in NLP.
Mm,
I did that. Remember the one of the first exercise we do, the invoking the other person,
okay.
get into
Stepping
the
into the
person's
other
shoes.
person's shoes. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, stepping into the other person's shoes to understand how they are feeling. So whether
uh-huh.
it's your client, your colleague, your family, to step in and understand how they are feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was something I never forget. Always when I
Mm.
get stopped, I always remember that technology. Yeah, okay, get into his shoes and then see where he's coming from, and then this is how I see the NLP has really made a difference in the
Yeah.
business.
And Dominic, the other thing is if you are a lot about of these processes are not about what I think it will be. You actually move. You move from here. I'm moving into that person's body. I'm moving out of my body, and your body tells you. You
Mhm,
like that feeling or you don't, or where are you feeling it? So a lot of NLP actually gets people into their body, whether they like it
mhm,
or not. They get into their body, and then they are
mhm,
able to feel a lot more than they felt before and then intuit. So that's intuition
mhm.
comes from the body, right? So then they can intuit. Yeah.
And then also your communication to the person changes due to
Yeah.
the so these are the things which actually very hard to read a book and
Yes.
get, the, get, the, get the skill, until you get
Correct.
into a workshop or a thing like yours. So I think this is what I hope people listening will want to capture. So moving on, the other thing is now currently your area of work. You have created new, different or structured workshops or
Yes.
technology to help. I mean, to
So yeah, so
what?
when the circuit breaker happened last year, we had the lockdown in Singapore in March, April, May, something like that. The first one when COVID first started.
Mhm, mm,
And I knew I was going to be home every day, and I knew I had a lot of time on my hands. So immediately I said, now I saw people putting on weight. I saw people talking about, oh my God, we're going to be home all the time. We'll be eating. What are we going to do? I heard all of this going on. And I thought, no, I'm going to keep myself busy. I'm going to create a routine. So from morning, I
mhm,
wake up at 6, I go for my walk, come back, have my breakfast, and then I shower as if I'm starting my day 8 o'clock, 8:30. I start and I started to recreate all my programs online because I'd never even used Zoom in my life. And
mhm,
so I had to go on a Zoom course. I had to ask young
mhm,
people, teach me, let's get on, let's pretend we're in a class, let's all log on. So I reorganized my classes to create your future, your purpose. Because I feel that right now a lot of people are lost. They are lost. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. There's no purpose in their life. They don't know who they
mhm,
are. So bringing them back to their identity. So create your future now. It's about creating your purpose. So I created series A, It's quite funny because I created Series A for clearing the past, all the limiting beliefs, the anger, the sadness, all of that. And then Series B is about the future. It's about going forward and really making things happen and creating from nothing. So from zero all the way to nothing. And this is something that really was fantastic because I see how people are coming out after Series B versus when they first started in Series A, and they have so much more clarity. And it's just 2 hours every time on Zoom. So yes, I have recreated everything, and I've got government funded programs for Singaporeans, and so it's all happening. Yeah, you have to keep up with the with change. I'm a change agent.
Yeah. No, that is something which is very pertinent. Change never remains the same. I think so. Through these workshops and seminars over the years, I mean,
Mm,
I see many people they don't really want to do anything until it's too late.
yes.
Like I mean myself, I would not say my life was by design. I think mine was by more like going through the crevices and cracks and then finding out things a very haphazard way. But if people were willing to take this kind of chances early,
Yes.
uh, prepare. I mean, don't wait until it happens, but actually be prepared for anything to happen. Like
Absolutely.
because of us, I mean, like myself, been changing so many things. But today I've been, the opportunities opening up today at for the during this session. I see many people don't understand what's going to happen because they're a little bit they're a bit lost.
Hmm.
So I hope you can share something like how NLP actually will help this kind of situations.
Yeah,
Which
you
I think
see.
I believe is very familiar.
Yeah, the thing is today, if you're proactive, you're right. Those days we didn't know where we are going, what to do, and we just by default we got on a journey. But today, if you are actually going through things like COVID and a lot of things that the environment is throwing at us, you have no choice but to do something fast. So NLP is accelerated. So it's an accelerated learning model, so you get your results fast. But how it will help you is once you start to clear all the cobwebs from your past, and some of them you may not even know because they are stuck in your unconscious. So this is why you need experts who have, like me, who have got the expertise to help you identify those things that are driving you and clear it. So clearing the past and then installing a new future. And by the time you do that, your clarity will be so high, you'll be able to then know what you want to do. So if you don't have to wait a long time, and it's really accelerated. So I've got some contacts there if you want to keep in touch. My Facebook, Instagram. You can write to me. Anything that you feel you'd like to connect in any way, you're most welcome to. Yeah.
Okay. So you got any more? You got any more? You got a little bit more time, or we because it's already I'm sorry to take
Yeah.
up your time.
Yeah, I
Do you
think I
think you
have
have
to
a few more
go.
minutes?
I,
Okay.
I yeah, very quickly then. You have another question? Last
Okay.
question?
Yeah. So anyway, so somebody who wants to really get started in life, what would you recommend? I mean, this is your message, last message you can share to anyone who wants to, who's willing to take some action. Whether it's NLP or I hope it's NLP because but different people come from different
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. You know,
areas.
mm,
What time will be a good time to start? Or I mean, everything is always now, but how will what will be advice or suggestion you can give to people out there? Basically, I say
there,
your last
yeah,
message you can
there
say.
there are three types of people. Some who are in negative zone. Okay, if you're in negative zone, you're really producing negative results. You are stuck in your life, stagnating. You don't know where to go, and you want to just get to neutral. There's also the neutral who feel like actually I can do better. I know I've got more potential than this, and I can do better. So you want to go from neutral to positive, or you have the positive, those who are already doing well and they say, I want to be a super high performer. All three categories, okay? The person in the negative territory wanting to go to positive, your focus will definitely have to be about clearing past programming, because your negativity is coming from past programming patterns of the unconscious mind that you have created and taken on from your family, your friends, your, all the people who you grew up with in your environment. So definitely your focus is going to be on the past and clearing all those cobwebs, and I tell you, you will feel so much better. Okay, so NLP can do all of these three things. The person in neutral territory who wants to go to the next level, okay, needs to now start to move, like from procrastination or from just kind of being, okay, to the next level of producing results. You need to start to install positive and empowering beliefs. So beliefs that are positive, that are, focus on the future. So maybe you have cleared your past, but you don't know how to focus on your future. You don't know the way. Okay, the way forward. You don't know, where do I start? Wow, that's such a big thing to create from nothing. It is a big thing. This is why
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need experts to facilitate you. This is why you can do it fast with an expert like a coach, or you can just, double around and around and around in your life, and for many years, 5 years later, you're still looking, waste of
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
correct. That's
think
what we
about,
did. I did
yeah,
rather.
yeah. You know what I mean? It was like we just stumbled from one to another and allowed that journey to happen. But actually, we don't need to do that. You can actually, go out and say, I'm going to focus on myself this year. And this 1 year, I'm just going to do whatever I can. Do it like that in an accelerated, very, very targeted way. And that's how you start to move to the positive. Now, the positive person who's already in positive territory, doing well, who wants to accelerate to high performance, their journey is going to be
Very
very fast,
fast. Yeah.
because they're already doing a lot of things, but they don't know what they're doing. So NLP will
Mm-hmm.
help them to understand the processes that they are using in their head, so that once they know how to use it, they can replicate it to the rest of their team. They can also do it over and over again, because now they know what they're doing. So there's three different levels of people,
So,
and
what was the youngest
all
person who did the NLP you had
you.
so far? I mean, sure, because you have said every
Um,
person, every sector of person, and the oldest.
yeah, I would say that's a good question, Dominic. I would say somebody at 16 years old. That was my youngest. She was in Sydney. She was my friend's daughter. So about 16 years old is good, because by then the unconscious mind is fully developed. And there's no age for
No age,
oldest.
yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
I
if
did
somebody is
NLP.
open and they're 80 years old, they can still do NLP. Yeah, as
Yeah,
long as you're open. What we need is an
open,
open mind. But
open
if you
mind.
already
Yes.
come in stuck and you say, I can't learn anything and this is who I am and I can't change, then we can't do anything. You must want to change. You must want to learn something about yourself.
Yeah, I think I'm trying not to use the word change, because when we talk about change, we always talk about changing clothes. But actual fact, you can't change someone until he's ready to change himself. I
Yes,
believe, we get stuck in trying to change people, but we're more important change ourselves, and then ultimately people around you start to change.
exactly. Exactly.
Then you
You
can see
influence.
changes happen. Most
That's
of us are
right.
spending time changing the television, changing the house, changing the outside. But when you ask them to change the inside, I got no money.
Yes, absolutely.
So you got to put a
Absolutely.
bit of money into changing yourself, which
Yes, and in
uh,
Singapore they say, oh, the government, because government has made them so comfortable that they don't go for training unless, a lot of them, unless it's government funded. So on
uh,
the other side of the coin is not good, because people are not wanting to spend money on themselves if they have to pick it out of their pocket. So
uh,
mm,
yeah. So
yeah.
anyway, I think maybe next time, Sylvia, if we have more time and you can give us the graces again, it'll be good to talk about money, how actually NLP works for money. Maybe we can organize, if it's okay for you, another time, if you like
Yeah,
to
maybe
share
a
about
few months
how
down the road, once
you
you've
month
had a
around. Yeah,
few yeah, a few people come in. Yeah.
yeah, we
It's
will
good to
organize
have
something whereby.
to be here. Yeah.
Huh?
Thank you for asking me in. It was good to see you again, and hopefully, if this talk has an interview has given people insights into
I
understanding
mean, I
themselves
think,
better.
yeah, I think if for me, I must admit, if I didn't have the do the NLP the time I did it, I wouldn't be having this talk today because I know I think a person at my age, most people will be wondering what are you doing on this, doing a Facebook live and a YouTube live, talking on something completely out of normality. I think normally a lot of people like
Yeah.
to talk about politics and stuff like that.
Mm.
So we will. I think thank you, Sylvia, for this time you have spent with me, and I will love to have you back again sometime when we can share other things because there's so
Sure.
much to cover. Yeah.
To cover.
Uh,
Yes.
because as my policy is, you can help change one person out there through this work, I think will be fantastic.
You're so
And
right.
yeah, I wish you all the best, and I hope people want to get in touch with you. Will click on the details you have left on your channel. So this will be
Yes.
always there, available. And
Thanks,
you
Dominic.
know,
Thank you very much. Yeah,
yeah,
you have a good day, and it was lovely to see you again. Thank
yeah.
you.
So thank you. I will leave you the room for a few minutes for today, and we'll catch up again.
Okay. See you
Okay.
soon. Bye bye.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Happy
Bye bye.
weekend. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Sylvia. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sylvia Fernandez, a very dear friend of mine who has been sharing un what would use the word with open heart of what exactly it will be to be an NLP coach or what is all about NLP. And I would say that this is just a tip of the iceberg because it is a constant learning process. Anyway, this is I like to just give you a couple of things coming up. In a short while, I will have another person who is going to share about how she, at the age of I think mid 50s, who has been backpacking uh, across Europe for 3 months. So that's the one person I would like to also share about how she has overcome her challenge, and changing it into an opportunity. Plus, I'm always looking for others who are willing to come out and share with me what are your challenges and how you have turned it around. Because the more you share, through this channel will be something I think we can help others. And because there we don't know where, somewhere out there, there'll be someone who is looking for this answer. And you could be the only one coming there to share. Okay, with that, anyone who's watching, and hope everyone here will subscribe and share this channel because this is what we all want to do, making a difference on others. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye. See you again.